Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and of course, welcome back to another WWE 2K14 video. Now, I have been covering the Defeat the Streak game mode for quite a while now. I think we've had, what, 5 attempts at it? Or 4? I think 5, right? On the 5th attempt with Razor Ramon was when we actually defeated the streak. As you can see, there's our score and our rank as well. But a lot of you guys actually asked for me to try to defend the streak, not just defeat it, but actually defend it. Now, I definitely want to try out this mode as well, so let's give it a go-see, shall we? So here we are, we're playing as Undertaker, and I absolutely have no idea in terms of what will occur, what happens when you try to defend the streak. How does this process work? Because there's obviously also points to earn, so I guess it's just going to choose a random opponent for us or something. I don't know. I guess we'll see together, won't we? So here we are. Something's happening. Nope, not yet. We got an awesome picture of Undertaker, which reminds me of the feud. That particular Undertaker reminds me of the feud from what was it, 2005 maybe, even with Orton? No, or was it 2007? I don't remember. But that was a great feud when Orton set his casket on fire and everything. It was great stuff. Bam! Here we go, big DDT, and it looks like we're taking on the Great Khali, by the way, as our first challenger. Which would be kind of a bad choice if you think of WrestleMania 30 and the opponent being the Great Khali. I think that would be a big disappointment to everybody. Absolutely everybody. Wow, Khali kind of looks short compared to Taker right now. Maybe it's just that compared to everybody else, he looks huge, and then the Undertaker's a pretty big dude, so it's not as much of a difference. Alright, come on, get up, Khali. Khali, I'm waiting for you. Alright, whatever. Let's dive. Bam! He wasn't getting up, it doesn't seem like. Bam! Big elbows right to the back. This is so much easier to play as the Undertaker than to play as a challenger for the streak. You know, like there's not nearly as much reversals or anything going on. It's just pretty simplistic stuff, to be quite honest. Here we go. Get up here, big fella. And it's time to pin you. Hopefully he'll stay down. I doubt he will because we really did not do a lot of damage yet, but maybe. We'll see. 3. Oh, there we go. Rest in peace. Oh, okay. So it's like an elimination style. So now McIntyre should come in. Yeah, okay. I get it now. So all we got to do is just try to see how often we can defend the streak against how many opponents. Well, at least we defended against one person, so that's already a good thing. Now, the bad thing here is that, of course, our damage accumulates, and I assume that the difficulty is going to get greater and greater, because right now they're giving us superstars that have a little bit of a lower overall, so I assume that as we continue to defeat opponents, it's probably going to turn to, like, you know, the John Cenas, the Stone Colds, the much more difficult challengers are going to start to come up, I would imagine. Alrighty, here we go. Big DDT. Whoa, what the? Okay, that's it? That eliminated him? Just the big DDT? Okay. Sounds good. Now it's Kane. So the difficulty has definitely increased. This is a much more serious opponent for certain. I mean, defeating Kane would be a far greater task than it will be defeating those other two guys that we have already defeated. Here we go. Time to take Kane up and down for a nice ride. And let's finish him off, shall we? Hopefully we'll be able to. Here we are. This would be our 3rd elimination already. My goodness. We're doing so good so far. Again, I don't know. Maybe 3 is like very low or something. I don't know. 2, 3. Yay! Alrighty, now we got Jack Swagger coming in. Imagine if Undertaker really had to do that at WrestleMania. That would be definitely challenging. If he had to just face off against multiple opponents until he loses. That could be actually a pretty intriguing storyline in terms of, like, maybe, you know, Vince McMahon just gets so annoyed with The Undertaker or something. He says, well, you're just going to have to keep running the gauntlet. And you see The Undertaker just eliminating one dude after another, but then Vince McMahon just keeps saying, well, we're going to just keep going. We're going to go through the whole roster if we have to. We're going to cycle the whole roster. And then maybe the last person would be someone like, I don't know, whoever would be a big heel at the time that they would want to get a lot of heat on. And he could be the one that actually pins The Undertaker with the help of someone else, you know? So that would be kind of an interesting way to do it. But then again, in my opinion, I think Undertaker should just retire undefeated. I think that makes the most sense, in my personal opinion. Again, if you disagree, I absolutely understand it. But I think that he should either retire undefeated, or if he does lose it to someone, they need to make sure that that person is a big star after that point, because it has to mean something. Like, for example, I disagree with John Cena winning it, because I think that he's already a huge star and he doesn't need it. While if they need someone to become a big star, that's something that they could definitely use to catapult them into crazy stardom. Alrighty, ooh, here comes Triple H. Now this is going to be a woozy. Here he comes. Come on, H. Boom. You eat a clothesline. You eat a bulldog. So far, so good, though. I mean, in 5 minutes or so, we've been able to eliminate 4 dudes, right? Was it 4 or 5? 4. I think this is the 5th guy, right? Triple H is our 5th opponent. Up and down. Beautiful clothesline from The Undertaker. And the leg drop follows that. And let's see, a couple of big elbows right to the back of the neck. I wonder how long I'll be able to actually go. It'd be kind of interesting. Now, by the way, I love how WWE tried to pretend with Triple H and Undertaker that they've only had 2 matches, because they've actually faced off 3 times already at WrestleMania. It was that they faced off against one another 2 years in a row, but they've also had another match. I think it was WrestleMania 18 or something. I don't know, not 18. What am I talking about? But it was before that. I don't remember which date it was exactly, but I'm pretty almost 100% certain that they faced off 3 times already at WrestleMania. Here we go. Beautiful DDT. Oh, you see? I don't understand why that DDT eliminates guys sometimes. There we go. We've made it through 5 opponents. And Undertaker's celebrating. He's like, yeah, look at me. I got no damage on me. That was actually pretty good. I'm impressed that we have literally no damage. Okay, where's Jericho? Here comes the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla. Turn around, buddy. You're about to get chokeslammed. Up. And down. Beautiful stuff. Alright, let me try to go for the Hell's Gate. See if I could actually tap him out. I would really like to try. Come on. I'm going to tap you, Jericho. I am going to tap you out, my friend. That's a promise. That's a guarantee. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Jericho eliminated. Ooh, Bret Hart. I would have loved to see that. That would have been a terrific match. Back in the heyday. Yeah, it would have been really good stuff. For Taker and Bret Hart to have a match at WrestleMania. Yeah, it would have been good stuff to see. Alrighty, here goes Taker. Then again, I feel like Taker is almost like a, you know, he's like a bottle of wine, a good wine, where he just gets better and better with age. Because, I don't know, I feel like his older performances, again, obviously he faced different caliber guys. But, in my opinion, for example, the first Shawn Michaels Undertaker match, in my mind, is the greatest WrestleMania match. Again, I know that Steamboat versus Savage is also an incredible matchup and everything, but I wasn't alive during that period, so I've never watched it in... like, I wasn't alive during that period, so I never had the live or kind of experience to it, you know what I mean? Like, when you're watching and following a storyline live versus watching it years later, it's not quite the same. So, for me, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, the first one, was the best match I've ever seen at WrestleMania. That was an incredible matchup. It told such a great story. And, yeah, it was great stuff. So I feel like Taker has always been getting better and better. Like his last few years, I mean, Punk, Triple H, Michaels have been like, for sure, I think the show stealers every time. So he's been on an absolute tear as of late, which is incredible considering he wrestles most of the time once a year now, and he still can perform to such a ridiculously high level. So it's incredible stuff. Alrighty, time to take Bret Hart. Nope, Bret. I am not... What the heck? Why'd you let go? I must have pressed L1 by mistake. Because whenever I do submissions, I just put the controller on my lap and I like tap with with both hands on the buttons so that I could try to actually get the tap out. Ooh, this is gonna suck for you. Yay! Snake Eyes! There goes Taker! Ooh, goodness gracious! Reversal from Bret the Hitman Hart. Alright, time for me to fire off a couple of shots there. DDT. And let's cover him. I wonder if he'll just stay down after the Hell's Gate and all that. 2, 3. Yay! Elimination number 7. Here comes Del Rio. I'm going to eliminate him as quick as possible. Come on, Del Rio. The most boring superstar on TV, in my opinion. I don't know. Something doesn't click for me with Del Rio. He's just really, really boring. And I know some people say, well, he's just a great heel because, you know, you actually don't like him. I'm like, nope, I actually just don't care about him. It's not that I dislike him either. It's just that the character is so boring and plain that I just simply don't like him. And not in the sense that I don't like him as a bad guy. Oh, I hate him or something. No, it's just that he's boring. He's boring to watch as a bad guy. He's boring to watch as a good guy. So I couldn't care less, which is unfortunate because I felt like he was, you know, with the Ricardo Rodriguez and everything, it was actually kind of a fun performer to watch every now and then. It was pretty entertaining, but then now they took all that away from him, so he doesn't have anything like that going for him anymore, which makes him a little bit of a boring star to watch. We're about to approach 10 eliminations, which is kind of redonkulous. Big boot from The Undertaker to Ted DiBiase. Speaking of Ted DiBiase, I was kind of surprised that they got rid of Ted DiBiase Jr. I felt like that guy could have been the next Randy Orton, but I guess that has kind of changed because Cody Rhodes is really kind of the big star out of that duo, which was interesting because a lot of people felt like it would be Ted DiBiase because he had that Randy Orton look and everything. You know, he had that kind of same pedigree. He wrestled well and he was pretty decent on the mic and stuff. So it's interesting how they just got rid of him and never really came up with anything for him. Whoa, nice throw there from The Undertaker. Trying to build up to a signature move here, to be quite honest. Uh-oh. Reversal into the Russian leg sweep. Thank God that I was doing the defeat the streak first because it's really made me hone my skills in terms of being able to hit reversals. Like, I'm way better at it now. So these guys are going to have a hard time being able to, you know, create any very, very highly damaging situations. All right, time to take him up and down for the last ride. Boom! Gotta love that. That's an awesome move. I love that move. It's just a power bomb, like a fancy power bomb, but it always looks awesome the way the Taker delivers it. 1, 2. Oh, he kicked out. I'm a little surprised by that, Ted. Can you please not kick out of that? I would greatly appreciate it if you didn't kick out. Please stay down. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Ooh, here comes Punk. Now, this is going to be pretty funny because what I'm going to do is, as soon as he walks in, I'll kick him to the gut and then just deliver a tombstone right off the bat. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe I won't. Here we go. Punch and then into the tombstone. Pin. If I actually pin him right now, that would be kind of ridiculous. Here we go. 1, 2. Ooh, CM Punk. First man to kick out of the tombstone in our defend the streak mode, which is pretty obvious that he would kick out considering that was all the damage that we did. Oh, I missed that. That really stinks. Alright, he's going to try to get fired up here. I'm not going to let him. Here we go. Watch this counter right here. Oh, that's pretty funny because he just goes for a Taker, just kind of like sidesteps. He's like, no, you're not going to do that to me. I'm too good for that. Bam. Yeah, Punk and Taker had a fantastic match as well. That was good stuff. They put on a heck of a show at WrestleMania 29. For sure, the best match of the night. I know a lot of people loved Triple H versus Brock Lesnar, but I don't know. I thought Taker Punk was the best thing that night. Alrighty, there we are. We've got 10 eliminations already. And Undertaker is celebrating again. He's like, yeah, look at me. Ooh, you have earned a trophy. 10-0. The Dead Man. Still no damage. Still no damage. Alrighty. Is this going to get any harder? Because, I don't know. So far, I've been able to just kind of walk through these dudes. And I'm not trying to show off or anything. I mean, I'm not that great. It's just that compared to Defeat the Streak, this is way, way easier. But I'm assuming that the difficulty is probably going to start ramping up with each. Maybe every 5 opponents that you defeat, the difficulty will ramp up. Wow, I just defeated Kofi with the tombstone right away. Well, clothesline then the tombstone. I guess that's because he's a weaker star, unlike Punk. Punk could actually kick out. Kofi did not, unfortunately for him. Another DDT. Oh yeah, I did a DDT to Kofi, didn't I? It wasn't, what is it called? A clothesline. Big boot to David Otunga, who's been like off TV for, I don't even know what he does. It's so interesting how there are like these guys on the roster that just, like sometimes it takes like months and months and months for them to appear. And it's not because they're injured, it's just because they just don't appear. They don't have anything for them to do or something. I know Otunga sometimes appears in like the backstage segments with like, I know that with the feud with the Big Show and Triple H, he was like the lawyer that said, oh, the Big Show would win the case or something like that. Like, but again, it's pretty interesting how he's just kind of nowhere now. Alrighty, here we go. Bam! Old school from The Undertaker. Delivered like a FedEx. Uh-oh, here we go. Boo! Uh-oh, ooh, nice. Mr. Otunga. Create the reversal. Uh-oh. Boom. Signature move. Yes. Here we go. Up and down. Oh, there we go. That eliminated him right away. I guess I knocked him out or something. Ooh, here comes Dean Ambrose. I think maybe, again, like I said, maybe with the big star or something. Again, I don't know. If Roman Reigns lives up to his potential or something like that, maybe he could be a guy that eliminates the streak. Because, again, he could be a guy that could use it, you know? And it could be kind of like a passing of the torch or something like that. I don't know, because a lot of people are saying that he's got the potential to be, you know, the next big star, the next big babyface of the company, because he's got all the tools going for him, you know? He's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the look. He's got all the different utensils that you would need in order to be successful. So, by the way, this is kind of cool because these guys actually did have a match in real life on SmackDown at one point, if you remember that. Here we go. Pin, cover, 1, a 2, and a 3. Ooh, here comes Yokozuna. That's a blast from the past. Come on, Yoko. Come here, boy. Boom! Big DDT. And another DDT. Here we goes. Gotta build up that damage again now into a signature move at least. Oh, goodness. What the heck? How the heck did he pick him up? I do love how the camera zooms in like that to emphasize the weight, and it really carries through to make you feel like, well, this is something that is like a feat of strength, you know, that actually took an incredible amount of power for The Undertaker to pull off. Beautiful neck breaker there from Taker. And the cover. 1. Ooh, Yoko kicked out at 1. He was not having any of it. He just like, nope, not gonna happen, my friend. Go to the top rope, Taker. And comes down with the elbow. Across the throat. The cover. 1, a 2. Kick out from Yokozuna. Taker now firing off with some big rights and lefts of his own. Beautiful reversal into the belly-to-belly suplex. Beautifully executed from The Undertaker. Now I have to see a last ride on Yokozuna. I wonder what that looks like. Can you actually get... Whoa, dude! Holy moly! This looks ridiculous! Alright, cover. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, here comes Cena at entry number 15. I'm gonna fire off on Cena with a DDT. Then get a couple of hits on him and then tombstone him right away. Boom! Again, I do want to see John Cena versus The Undertaker. I just feel like he doesn't need to beat him, because it really gets Cena nothing. Like, I know that you want to try to make him maybe the biggest star ever of all time by doing that, but to me, it's like, if he retires, let's say in 5 years or so, he doesn't have that value, you know, versus if Taker passes that on to somebody who could use that forever and ever, and, you know, would have a lot of value from defeating The Undertaker, and that could make that star, like, legitimately make them a top-tier main eventer. I feel like they should, if they do want him to lose to somebody, it should be somebody who is going to be made after that. Alrighty, here we goes. Our next opponent is... Ooh, wow. Okay, we're at 15 eliminations, which is kind of ridiculous, seriously. Okay, here comes Big Show. I mean, I'm not having a lot of hard time with this. This is pretty easy stuff. I don't know, maybe if... I wonder how many... What's the max? Is it the whole roster that you gotta defeat? Like, both versions of Big Show? You gotta defeat the different versions of Triple H, Shawn Michaels, etc.? Or is it just... This is it, pretty much. Like, I don't know what it goes up to. I wonder. I wonder if there is a limit. Maybe just keep cycling superstars. Like those that you knocked out first time. They've been resting up backstage, and then they come back out. They're like, oh, I can try again. Boom, big DDT from The Undertaker. Gonna go back to the top rope again. And another elbow drop. Here we go. I am gonna deliver the choke slam to the Big Show. Here we go. Boom. Gotta love that. I love how it's like the one-handed choke slam. It's awesome. 1, a 2, and a 3. Oh, nice kick out, Mr. Big Show. I'm impressed, my friend. And nice reversal there. Not that time, though. That time you just ate a clothesline to the face. Elbow drop. And the cover from The Undertaker. A 1, a 2, and a 3. See you later, Big Show. Here comes Zack Ryder, who I am going to probably tombstone right away. We'll see. Here we go. Up. And down. Here we go. Cover. 1. Count. 1, 2. Ooh, Zack Ryder kicks out of the tombstone. Imagine that at WrestleMania. That would be ridiculous. I always felt bad for Zack Ryder because he's definitely entertaining. Like, I don't know. I never saw him as a main event star. I know some people were like, who watched his True Long Island story or whatever. True Long Island. I don't remember what it's like. True Long Island story. Something like that. Whatever the name of his show was online. A lot of people were saying, well, he can be a champion, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like he could definitely be like a strong mid-carder. And honestly, I think that he's just an entertaining personality. He does have charisma. He is funny and stuff like that. So I feel like he could definitely do that. But at the same time, I felt bad for him that he did get himself over. But then the WWE just kind of said, well, since he got himself over, let's bury the heck out of him. You know, and it was kind of sad to see that this guy has been like working his tail off. And then they made sure that nobody cared about him by just absolutely demolishing his character, making him look like a weakling with that whole storyline between Eve and I almost said Eva Marie by mistake. Between Eve and John Cena and himself, remember? And I think it was Kane also involved in that whole thing. So it's unfortunate, really, for him. Alrighty, here comes Mr. Cesaro, my personal one of my personal favorites right now on TV. Definitely my personal favorite up-and-comer, I guess, or something. I feel like he's so underrated and underutilized that it's ridiculous. I feel like he's got all this incredible potential. He's just so ridiculously powerful, has such an interesting arsenal of weapons and stuff. So I would have loved to see Cesaro in a World Heavyweight title picture, you know, especially like on SmackDown and stuff. Again, as I said on my one video that I talked about this, I don't feel like Cesaro maybe could be a really, really big WWE champion or superstar or anything. Then again, if The Miz was champion, anybody can be champion. But at the same time, I feel like on SmackDown, he could be a very, very good asset to that brand and be a very, very strong main event star, in my opinion. Again, if he's booked right, you know, because he has a lot of stuff going for him. And he is, oh, again, another guy who's fun and funny when you give him the mic and you give him the chance to prove himself. So I don't know. I hope he becomes a big star. Here comes Randy Orton, one of the victims that has already suffered a loss to The Undertaker at WrestleMania. That was a great storyline. I love that stuff when they were building to that with the whole Legend Killer stuff. That was incredible. Oh, at least, I don't know. I love that character for Orton. I thought it was really, really fun for him to just, you know, be eliminating legend after legend. It was like Mick Foley. I think he actually took on Ric Flair as well, didn't he? Or take him out or whatever. But yeah, it was just good stuff. It was great booking. And it was a really fun character for Orton to play. But then he finally met the legend that he had to actually, you know, struggle to defeat. Which was, of course, The Undertaker, the dead man. Which all led up to WrestleMania. Here we go. 1, a 2, and a 3. Fantastic. Alrighty, 20 eliminations we've got. That is absolutely incredible. And of course he's going to go down again, do that thingamajig. I hope we have some damage on us at this point. Nope, still nothing. This is kind of, I'm feeling like a jerk because I'm almost like, okay, I can eliminate this guy as well, and this guy as well, and this guy as well. But at the same time, I'm almost intrigued at this point to see just how far does this go. And at what point does it already now count or whatever it is, I don't know. Here we go. Boom, shakalakers. Pick him up. Maybe I should have, maybe it's because of the difficulty, I don't know. Maybe it's set to a really low difficulty or something, I don't know. I'm not sure how this works, the defend the streak mode, so all I know is that I have been winning matches, which is good. Big DDT from The Undertaker. Should be able to pin Slater after a chokeslam, I think. Here we are. Take him up, Taker. And take him down. Cover. A 1, a 2, a 3. See you later, Slater. Here comes Big John Studd, I believe. Right? Yup, indeed. Big clothesline. I did enjoy the, by the way, for those of you that asked me about the WrestleMania mode, the 30 years of WrestleMania, the reason why I didn't cover it is because I got the game pretty late during Tuesday, and most people already covered that storyline. Plus, it has a lot of video stuff, and I don't want to risk copyrights or anything like that. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do the storyline mode. But honestly, I enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. At the same time, I felt like at times it was very frustrating. It was almost like they were trying, like some of the matchups were so ridiculously goofy in terms of being able to pull off all the different objectives that you would try again and again and again, and there would be one thing that you did wrong, like one little error where you made a mistake, and by mistake, let's say you get pinned or something like that, and then you have to retry the whole thing, and it just felt like you were just being, like they were trying to make the game mode longer, and the way that they were working around it is by just, you know, making you fail multiple times so that you keep trying over and over and over again, and then through that would force you to obviously, what is it called? To, goodness gracious, I can't even talk at this point, because I'm like, I got a little nervous there with the reversal, but that would make you more, spend more time in that particular game mode. But I feel like that's such a cheap way of going about it. It's almost the same thing as like Uncharted, where in Uncharted they had some areas where it would be just like, okay, you move to this area, now you shoot these guys, now you shoot these guys, now you shoot these guys, okay, now you move to the next area, now you shoot these guys, now you shoot, and it definitely felt like they were just padding out the game to make it longer and make the experience longer. It wasn't as bad there because it was, again, some sections were pretty bad, but it wasn't like horrible in my opinion. So I don't know. I don't like when games do that. I feel like if you have to be a shorter experience, then just be a shorter experience. And I know that from a business perspective, it makes no sense because people will just trade the game in. So it's definitely a very, very difficult balance to strike for game designers. Whoa, nice move there from Mr. Seth Rollins, who's in my opinion probably right now, I don't even know, maybe not the best bumper. It's probably him and Ziggler, but he's just been doing ridiculously well with bumping like a boss. He just bumps like a savage. Here we go. Cover, and that should be night for another Shield member. So there's only one more to go, which is of course Roman Reigns. Ooh, here comes Ryback, who a lot of people were saying he would be facing off against Undertaker at some point. I think it was even the rumor for WrestleMania 29 early on in the year. I remember that being the rumor, but not at this point. At this point, they've almost basically killed Ryback's character. He's just, I don't even know. It was so weird with Ryback because it was like, okay, let's push this guy quickly into the title picture because of Cena getting hurt and all that stuff. Okay, now let's just bury him. It was just so like odd the way that his character operated. By the way, I also absolutely cannot stand his new attire in this game. It's just so ugly. I don't know. I feel like he did have some really cool attire, so I don't know why they picked this ugly one as the one that they went with and said, well, that one looks good, let's do that one. I don't know. Maybe it's due to like color choices and the superstar threads, but I don't know, I think this one's ugly as heck. Cover, 1, 2, 3. See you later, Ryback. Here comes Jericho again. This is the other Jericho, I assume, the modern Jericho, because we have defeated the, yep, modern Jericho indeed it is. Whoa, what the heck am I going for here? Suplex. I thought I was going to go for the tombstone. That's why I was a little surprised, because by mistake, I think I tapped triangle, and I was like, okay, well, whatever, I'll go for the tombstone now, even though I do know that Jericho is not going to stay down for just one tombstone and nothing else. Here we go. Big right hands from the dead man. And the stomp down. The other thing that I wanted to, I just thought about, like I actually had that discussion, I think a couple weeks ago with one of my friends about Undertaker. It's pretty interesting how he's built such a, like, phenom type role around him that we all accept him like being the dead man and pretending to do all this stuff, even though we all know that it's all like fake and how it all works. But it's pretty interesting how with him, we all forgive it. Like, we don't even think about how ridiculous some of the stuff he does is. We just like, that's the Undertaker. Nobody cares what he does. He's just the boss. He can do whatever the heck he wants, and we'll all believe it. And it's pretty interesting how he's earned that trust, not only with the guys in the back, but also with the fans. And I was actually fortunate enough to actually see him live on Raw in Toronto. I think it was maybe 3 years ago. He was actually a surprise. He wasn't supposed to be there, and then all of a sudden, it was like, bam, his music hits, and then we all freaked out. We all marked out. It was good stuff. 1, 2, 3. See you later, Jericho. And we got 2 finishers stored up, which is fan-flipping-tastic. Alrighty, 25 eliminations in, and I have yet to even feel any pain, which is kind of redonkulous. Ooh, Andre the Giant. Here we go. Come on. Here he is. I felt like the, by the way, for the, again, back to the 30 years of WrestleMania, I felt like the best aspects of that were when, like when the Hulkamania runs wild. I felt like that one was the best one. And again, I'm not like a particularly old school fan or anything, because again, I wasn't even alive at that period, so I wasn't watching or anything like that, so I didn't have any nostalgia. I just felt like the way that they put those video packages together and they told the story, it was really, really fun to play through that versus the modern stuff. I don't know. I felt like it was, sometimes it felt really padded, and it felt like some of the objectives they chose were chosen in order to make the experience longer. Or maybe actually, you know what, now that I think about it, maybe it's also affected by the fact that the modern stuff I watched live, so maybe it doesn't have the same resonance for me. But then again, I don't know, like Michaels versus Taker was fun to play through because I was like, oh, that's relieving that match, and it was really cool in that sense. Here we go. Oh, God. Okay, well, Undertaker would never be able to do that, I don't think, to Andre. But let's go for the cover. 1, 2. Ooh, goodness gracious. Man, Andre's putting up a heck of a fight. And I have noticed that he's begun to reverse more. You see that? He's begun reversing far more than the other opponents were. So maybe the difficulty is going up slowly, and I just haven't really noticed it yet. But then again, now I have noticed it. I picked up on the fact that there's been more and more reversals, so that's something that's new. Cover 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, here comes Daniel Bryan, who could definitely use a good match against The Undertaker. That would be good stuff. Bryan versus Taker. Especially, I'd love to see the style of that match because of the size differences. It would be really intriguing to see what kind of a matchup they would put together. Okay, let's pick up Mr. Bryan and deliver the tombstone, and hopefully that will be night-night. Here we go. Boom. Tombstone pile driver. Count, Mr. Referee. I think I'm going to go up to 30 and then I'm going to stop because it's WrestleMania 30, and because honestly at this point it's kind of getting stale for me to just be tombstoning these dudes over and over and over and over and over again. Because it's like, okay, I get it, but the difficulty's not getting any greater. There we go. 27 opponents defeated. Here comes another Triple H. Now, since we beat the modern one, I think that this should be retro Triple H. Oh, yep. That's the long hair Triple H. Boom. Slam his face into the floor. And go up to the top rope. Elbow drop once. Top rope again. Elbow drop twice. Top rope again. Big clothesline. Oh, nice. Good reversal from H. That was a beautiful stuff. Yeah, I love some of the new kind of like cool reversals that they've added. It definitely adds to the pace of the match and the excitement of the match. There we go. I don't know how I do that, but I just eliminated him with a DDT, which I guess that works. Ooh, Mick Foley versus Taker would have been really fun to see. In their prime, of course. But again, the weird thing is Taker is almost now in his prime versus Foley, of course. He was in the early 2000s, I would probably say that was the best Mick Foley. No, sorry, late 90s, probably. Here we go. Yeah, late 90s and the 2000, maybe. Something like that. Alright, here we go. It's time to deliver. Why don't we go for the last ride this time instead of the, what is it called? The chokeslam, since we have done those quite a few times. There we go. Last ride to Mr. Mick Foley. I'm going to try to go for that DDT, see if I could do some damage. Ooh, reversal. But you have noticed, right? More and more reversals, which is cool. Ooh, and the first cover I've been in. Here we go. Ooh, okay, that was a couple of good punches, I guess. Time for you to go on the ropes, Mick. Ouch. That must have sucked. Cover. Forearm across the face. 1, a 2, a 3. Ooh, nice. Kick out at the last second. Boom. And cover. 1, a 2, a 3. See you later, Mick. Here comes Kane. Alrighty, after Kane, I think that will be it. I'm going to let the opponent after Kane eliminate me. Depending on who it is, it's going to be pretty funny if it's just like a jobber or somebody like that. And then it's like Undertaker finally could not stand it against this one person. That would be kind of funny, actually. Big boot from Taker. And Taker setting up Kane. Going to the top rope. Elbow drop. Here we go. Taker. Taker's in the zone. Kane seems to be all out of gas already, even though he just came into this match versus Undertaker being in it already for almost half an hour. Here we go. Oh, God, this is going to suck because his head is going to bounce off the turnbuckle. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Yeah, always whenever they do something with the turnbuckles and everything, that stuff looks so dangerous and, like, so powerful and stuff. That's why I know that Seth Rollins does this, like, powerbomb where he powerbombs his opponent into the turnbuckle. And when he does that, that looks so crazy painful. Like, I don't know why, but for some reason in my head, like, when it's against the ropes like that, it feels more dangerous for some odd reason. Alright, what am I doing? I've got 30 opponents defeated. Am I just going to continue? Oh, great. Finally, we have damage on us. Darren Young. Okay, I guess I could let Darren beat me. Oh, my goodness. This is so hard because it's like, I don't want to lose. Okay, you going to punch me at least? Plus, how long is it going to take for one of them to, like, at least go for the cover? Pin me right now, Darren. If I get a reversal, and I'm just going to go for the tombstone to see if I could pin him with it. Come on. Uh-oh. Up and down. By the way, yeah, I think Darren Young had, like, so much guts to do what he did. Like, you know, how he came out and said that he's homosexual and everything. I felt like that was a pretty gutsy move, honestly. Especially in this industry, you know, where it's all about, like, yo, bro, let's, like, be working out and stuff. And I don't know. It felt like a very, very dangerous thing to do because it could have, you know, inadvertently cost him his career. But at the same time, it's like he came out. He was like, yep, this is how I am. We're in the 21st century. And as long as I'm not hurting anybody, why do you care what I like to do? So it's a pretty gutsy move on his part for sure. Steamboat. Goodness gracious. Now I'm thinking maybe I should just keep going until I eliminate the whole roster. But I don't know. It just, like, how many do I need to just eliminate? This is ridiculous, man. Oh, my goodness. I am definitely starting to take damage, which is good, I guess. In the sense that we're potentially going to lose at some point. But I don't know, at this point, we haven't even ever been hit by, like, a signature move of somebody else's or a finisher or anything like that. So, it's been not such a good effort by these guys, I would say. Big DDT from Mr. Undertaker. Here comes another DDT. Beautiful stuff there. Cover. 1, a 2, 3. Ooh, that was close. Man, it's so close just from the DDTs. I feel like I could just beat him with, like, without ever even using my signatures or finishers. It's pretty ridiculous. Alrighty. Here goes Steamboat. Up and downs. Cover. A 1. A 2, a 3. Here comes Big Show. Now this should be, I think, modern Big Show, right? Because we took on the 2000s Big Show. Yep, this is modern Big Show indeed. Can't wait to deliver a Tombstone Piledriver to Big Show. That would be pretty boss. Alright, Big Show, come on. Get ups, bro. Get ups. I'm helping you with the elbow to your back. I'm stretching you out. Undertaker, the greatest masseuse on the planet. Boom! Ooh, nice! He was the first person to ever reverse that, I believe. But I just reversed his first attack, so far so good. I don't think he's gotten any offense on us at all so far. So then now I'm just going to nail him a couple of times. He tried to do a comeback. Instead, he just gets his face mashed in. Nice submission here from The Undertaker. And why don't we get him up? Big DDT, and then after that we'll go for the signature, and I think that should be enough. Oh no. I thought we would get a signature move after that, but we did not. Let's see, sidewalk slam. Beautiful stuff. Pin. A 1, a 2. Nothing. Come here, dude. You're going for the tombstone ride. And this is going to be a 1, a 2, a 3, for sure. Here we are. Come on, cover. That's a nice shot. 1, 2, a 3. Alright, Titus O'Neil is next. Let's eliminate the second member of the Primetime Players. Here we go, big clothesline. Oh, and we got our signature move, which is not so good for Titus, I have to say. Sorry, Titus. You're going up, and you're going down. He, by the way, also is like so powerful and so charismatic. Also a great star. But then again, I'm a big fan of the Primetime Players overall. I feel like it's kind of interesting why they never get a shot or anything. I wonder. Because they're they're also like, I don't see them as main event guys, but I do see them as being just entertaining characters to watch. You know, like they always come up with funny stuff to say, and just the way that they present themselves as characters, they do a great job with that. So, I don't know. I think that the Primetime Players could definitely play a funny comedic role on Monday Night Raws more than they do. Oh, here comes The Rock. Maybe I should lose to The Rock. Then again, I also kind of want to get to 35 already. Hit him. Tombstone to The Rock. Dwayne Z-Rock Johnson. Just got rocked, bro. You just got rocked. A 1, a 2. Ooh, Rocky kicks out. Rocky eats a bulldog. Well, not like the animal. Not like the breed. 1. Ooh, kick out at the 1 count. I'm impressed, Rock. Rock eats a DDT. Cover from The Undertaker again. 1, 2. Kick out again. Okay. How about a couple of shots here? And then a nice choke slam for your troubles. And then the cover. 1, 2, 3. See you later, Rocky. See you later, alligator. Who's next? Who is next indeed? I wonder who will be next. We've gone through 35 opponents, which is kind of ridiculous. Oh, okay. It resets your health every time? That's so cheap. I'm never going to lose like this. Oh, never mind. Maybe the difficulty just ramped up. You saw Hulk Hogan just hit a big reversal on us. Never mind. Maybe he didn't. Because I just nailed him without any troubles whatsoever. Up goes Hogan. And down goes Hogan. This is Hollywood Hulk Hogan, by the way. You know, with his black trunks and everything. 1, 2. Ooh, Hogan kicks out. It would have been awesome if Hogan just started to Hulk up at that point. That would have been pretty good. Alrighty, let's deliver that patented DDT that we've eliminated several opponents with. That thing is powerful as heck. Boom! There we go. Stay down, Hogan. Cover on Hogan. 1, 2. Hulkamania runs wild. Maybe I should just let him hit his comeback. Hulk, you want to hit your comeback, bro? Okay, here you go. Do your comeback. I'm going to let him do it. I'm going to let him hit me with his finisher. And we'll see. Alright, there's another big shot. Oh, goodness gracious. Big right hand from Hogan. And he hits the big boot. And the leg drop. The leg drop. The finisher. The cover. The 1. The 2. The 3. Hulk Hogan just defeated The Undertaker. Well, I just let him defeat me, but that's okay. I was just like 35 opponents. I'm a little bored at this point. I don't want to keep going forever and ever and ever and ever. I just kicked the microphone by mistake. Goodness gracious, I need to get a mic arm. Okay, let's see what happens. How well did we score? I assume we did at least decently well. Then again, it wasn't really hard, so I wouldn't be surprised if some people have like a gajillion points. Alrighty, a 42-minute and 33-second match where we scored 75,810 points, which is kind of ridiculous. Opponents defeated bonus 9,310, streak extension bonus 21,000. 1,000. Sure, let's upload our score. And there you have it, guys. That was Defend the Streak. Definitely not quite as exciting or tense as Defeat the Streak. Defend the Streak was far easier. You do a ridiculous amount of damage with each one of your moves as The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But that being said, if you guys enjoyed this episode, of course, smash that like button. Let me know in the comment section below how far you managed to get on Defend the Streak. And of course, have a fantastic day. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators.